Hello. Nice to see you. Yeah, hope we'll make it. So guys, I wanted to start our conference, I think, and start our stage with a topic I think that touches most of us some kind, so the future of design, we know that design processes evolve, we know that they develop themselves. We are trying as designers become new creators of something new. So, but right now we are kind of in the middle of some shift, and everybody is saying about the future, about what is happening and how the world will change. And basically, this is something that I wanted to touch because this is the topic that is being really close to me and to my conscience because of the fact, basically, that I don't know right now what's the future of design, and it's hard to guess. But on the other hand, I need to know as a CEO of the UX company. Because basically it is us who are evolving in creating the future, in crafting the design. And this became one of my kind of aims and my goals to find out where it is hidden and how it works. And basically, when we start expressing of what we do and how our jobs look like, the first kind of thoughts we can get to is automation. So basically, how will our occupation, designer's occupation, look like in future? Let's say we have, for example, a graphic designer who is doing ads. So basically what he is doing, he's preparing ads for some marketing campaigns. Right now, this is his job. Tomorrow, he will have an AI assistant that will help him do the ads. The day after that, the AI assistant will be so good that it will replace the designer. Then what will the designer do? He will become a prompter. And right now everybody is saying, yeah, let's start doing prompting. But still, prompt engineer will also be replaced with the AI engine. And then, okay, so let's say we have already the ad prepared, which is done. The prompt has been prepared by the analytics. The design has been prepared by some Midjourney and another soft. So basically, now we are talking about the emission. So broadcasting the ads. Broadcasting the ads might be also automated totally. So basically, when we talk about the system, let's say that we have a client who is on our website, he is doing some conversion or not, he's looking for some products, he wants to buy something. We have analytics like Pivik Pro, and Google Analytics, etc. They are more and more combined with another software, which is software integrator, which is analytics integrator. It might be also combined with another software, which is a software made for analytics and making some synthesis out of the data. Then they feed the reporting AIs. The reporting AIs feed the creating and creative AIs. Then the creative AIs feed the art design AIs. And basically, as we can see, we can make the whole bunch of tools that will replace our job in terms of the future. So basically, when we think about our job and how it will look like, it's very easy to go this wrong direction. So basically, we are focusing on saying that, yes, our job will be lost because we don't know where we are heading, and everything will be automated, and AI will take our jobs. Yes, so they took our jobs. And this sounds really kind of practical, because let's say, for example, that we have a grocery guy who has the groceries. Let's say that he has a green groceries and he's selling some apples in Krakow. So basically, right now, for this kind of person, to create ads campaign is wasting a lot of money. Basically, he needs to make a branding, he needs to make a logo, he needs to make a website, he needs to plan some advertisements. But in future, what would happen if you would have like millions of advertisements, like really personalized for specific users? Let's say that you are watching TikTok, you are watching Instagram, and each time you stop scrolling, you start liking, or you go with any interactions, you know that it's all marked as kind of your footprint. And basically, having all of your data, we can create ads that will be specifically for each of you different ad. Like a tech guy will get some more tech ads. We can get some more sexy ads for the guys who are into this one. Either it's feminine, either it's men's. So basically, as we can see, we can discover all kinds of new possibilities in terms of automating our job. So basically, the art creating will be also replaced. The whole branding might be replaced by AI and also automated. And how we will cope with AI, this is more or less how it might look like. So for example, let's say, hey, I'm a green grocer in Krakow, Cieszyn. I currently sell 5,000 kilograms of apples a month. I want to sell 4 times this. and create me everything. And everything will be created because those machines already work with each other and they already do the job. So basically, no, it's easy to say that our job will be replaced, and it's easy to make all those fatalist visions and perspectives. And they block us as humans because we are all also trying to secure ourselves. And we are saying, okay, it will kill our job, I will not touch it. Many designers say it. And this is wrong. Because we need to encourage ourselves to cope with it, to work with it, to test it out. But let's take first two assumptions in order to get to my prelection. One assumption is that, okay, if AI will kill creativity, it will kill like 80% of our jobs. So basically, we will all be fired. So sorry, guys, we will be all on ground. The second assumption is let's try to benefit. And let's try to be the drivers who are driving the shift. Let's try to push the development, the civilization forward. Let's be those who change the world. And this is the approach I want to take. Because as a designer, if I'm a designer and I work at some company as a designer on designs, I'm trying to adapt to new technology. When you are a CEO, you need to predict them, as I mentioned at the beginning. So for me, when we started talking about AI, it just became another brush in the artist's hands. As we can see the caveman's fresks in France, we can see the pictures, we can see the photography out of the 1950s, which became one of the art communication system between the user and the client. And then I started saying, okay, how can AI inspire us and empower us? Let's take for any symbol of the industrial design. Let's take any symbol of how we can inspire ourselves by creating those things by AI. Then I took some of our projects and I said, okay, what happens if my employees can just validate their concepts? So basically on the left you can see our old designs, on the right we can see what can AI do with this one. Then I said, okay, let's try to solve some extraordinary problems. Then we had a website where we had some perfumes. It was an e-commerce that sells perfumes. And we really wanted to visualize the smell of the perfumes. And how to do it, because this is kind of, artistically, it's quite complex and quite cool problem to solve. So basically, this is where AI came also in hands. So basically, it helped us go really fast in creating so many ideas on how we can visualize the smell of the perfumes. Then I was thinking about the insights. You know, we had one of the research with one of the companies that has done some mixed mode on personas and customer insights, etc., and customer journey map. And I remember I was sitting there on a meeting, and basically I was, just switching through the AI and was typing something. And then I started, just for a joke, I started completing what they are saying about personas. And soon after they said, hey, you have some cool insights. How did you know about it? You are kind of predicting what we are about to say. And I'm saying, yeah, these are the proto-insights I get from AI. This is something I call as a proto-insights, basically because everything we can get from AI, any kind of market insight, any kind of customer insight, we can get as a proto-insight, meaning something to validate, something to verify. We can check those things before we start. Then we started optimizing. This is where it gave us a lot of money because, for example, when we had one of the projects when we were doing some brand hero for a client, we could do the early screening. Normally, when you do a brand hero, it's like a pain in the ass because you never know what your client will like. And basically, there are like 10 stakeholders. Each of them is totally individualistic. And in terms of brand hero, everybody is a specialist. So basically, for a company like mine, creating a brand hero is like a real financial risk. I can go either they like it and we go, yeah, we are cool. Either we go like 10 iterations of, fixing, finding another graphic designer because this one doesn't work with the 3D and this one doesn't work with this type of art, etc., etc. So what we did is we asked our researchers to do the ethnography research on archetypes for certain types of heroes. And then during the workshops, we were able to manage to create like 40, 50 of those ideas for brand hero. And we could choose with our client which one is the best in terms of choosing what to do. Then I understood that AI can also help us in terms of effectivity. That basically, okay, it can help us create faster things with Firefly, with Midjourney. We can adapt those methods. We can work them together. This is a poster that I have prepared like in 15 minutes using Firefly, using even the car was paired by Firefly. Then I took the Midjourney. Then I took them together and added some shadows automatically. So everything was done automatically. Another thing is, I didn't put no picture here, but another thing is transcriptions and research methods. Basically, AI can also improve ourselves in processes. Normally, our clients right now pay like 4,000 zlotys, so which is 1,000 euro less for AI, just in terms of just for the research, just because of the fact that we have really automated some of the processes with AI, which is also cool because it gives us another competitive advantages. Then we started using AI as well for selling, because when you go to offering with the clients, it's like a beauty competition with the customers. So basically each of us do put out some designs, and we are all trying to say, okay, maybe he will like it, so basically let's try to push it. It's so nonsense because it doesn't show what kind of UX approach you have, but it just shows your design approach. So basically it helps us wrangle with the beauty contests we don't like, we hate them at all. So basically, my first paradigm in terms of looking at the future of the design was that either we adapt, either we die, because we cannot be the blocker of civilization. This is a typical shift of development of humanity. This is like internet that came and helped us to grow and prepare even more effective things. And this is what will happen right now. But we need to rethink what is the role of the designer, what is the toolbox of the designer, what is being expected from us. Is it crafting? Because I know that there is a lot of designers who are saying, yeah, I'm a crafter, I'm not an artist. I don't do nothing like creative. I just, if you make me do a design system, I do a design system. I'm a UI designer, I'm not an art designer. I'm not UX designer as well. No, I don't do mockups, I don't do the scenario-based and, design-based on human needs. No, I'm a UI designer. So basically, we need to redefine what is the goal of our work and what is the expertise our brain is expected to provide. Because I think this is the clue to understanding what's our role in the final design and where we have the toolboxes. And this, as you can see, I showed you like 8 examples of how we use AI, just as a quick glance. But still, either we do it is our own decision. I cannot make anyone as well from even my company to do it. It's just each of us has to make their own individual decision, what they use and how they use it. And thinking about those toolboxes is the most kind of flat type of thinking about the AI, because it doesn't give you nothing. It's just tools. It's new brushes that you give. It's so weak thinking about it. And this led me to another thing, imperative. Because when I'm thinking, okay, what is the design approach we should take? Because I want to my designers not to draw something that is being prepared right now. Where is the value added of company that is doing the great UX if it's just, recreating the same design? We need to push forward. And I found a chance in this, what is happening right now, that maybe the way of thinking about design might change. And my first intuition was really right, because when I started picking into the systems in movies and imagination of how the movies adapt AI, it gave me so many inspirations. First of all is what is our approach to the human-computer interactions? Because what we do is basically we are designing, as UX designer, we are designing human-computer interactions. What it means? It means we have a screen. The screen connects with the eyes of the user, and it gives some information, provides some information. What person does? He receives the information, he manages and wrangles this information, and he gives a response with the keyboard, with the mouse, with the touchpad, or anything else. And each time, this is a communication with one device. Either it's mobile phone, either it's TV, either it's computer. We have person, we have device, and we have an interaction model which is based on interface. So this in the middle is our interface. And this is how it works right now. But when we take a look at the movies and take a look as well at some inspirations of how it might look, we can have a totally different way of thinking. Because first of all, we can adapt the ways that user can control the system. It's not only keyboard, it's not only voice, it's not only joystick or mouse, it might be any other various models. It might be eye tracking or the temperature of a person that is being stimulated as a signal that is being sent to the computer. The ways of communicating between the user and the computer is so spreading so much that we cannot say that we have only mouse, keyboard, and, I don't know, touchpad on mobile and iPad devices, tablet devices. We have much more, and it's about us to adapt it. Why I'm saying this? Because it's really important, for example, when you start thinking about medical products. Right now, there is a lot of medtech startups that are being launched right now. Many of them focus on how to design the best user interface for doctors. And we are still thinking about the screen, the logo on top left. And this is our main focus in terms of what's designed. We don't focus, okay, let's add another device like a joystick, which will make it more precise. Let's add another like leap motion device. Let's add another device which will feel the temperature of a doctor that is making a surgery and say, hey, you are too stressed right now. Calm down, drink some water and continue, for example. You see, the way of imagination is like we are touching just 20% of our possibilities in terms of what design can give us right now, in terms of what kind of signals person sends to the computer to operate it. And then we have the computers that send signals to the humans, yeah? And still we have screens. We only use one screen at the time. Why is that? Why when I'm touching my computer or my mobile phone next to my computer, they don't interact like simultaneously with each other? Why does it work seamlessly? I need to turn on some AirDrop to send files and I'm thinking about it like some sort of revolution. It's not any kind of revolution. They should really talk to each other. We should be working on omni-device simultaneously. And we have as well various types of ways of sending signals to the users. And as well, the screen that we are using right now is our kind of, our holy grail, Figma, which is being done. It doesn't make no sense because we have dialogue interfaces that already bring big pain in the ass because, okay, I'm a UX designer. How can I design ChatGPT dialogues? And what should I prompt it and what? Well, I don't know. You see, it's not easy to think about it this way because we need to be the part of this paradigm shift because most of the stakeholders, they don't get it and they don't feel it because they're business-oriented. We are the guys that are our clients' advocates. We are the guys that do the research and try to get the more usability and ergonomics into our systems. And we are the ones who need to bring like idea. I remember one case study from Roche company, and they were saying like they had a big problem in terms of, they had some system for doctors, and they had a really, really complicated table. It was so big that it couldn't make it on any screen. Well, you know what they did? They bought wider screens. And that's it, And sometimes we need to think out of the box in terms of tools we have. And basically, let's think of human, not computer interaction, but human system interaction, which is multi-computer, which is multi-device, where we have various types of signals that can be sent, and various types of methods how we can communicate with each other. And to be true, when thinking about future and how we can work in terms of creating and build this future, I think this is one of the biggest shifts in the way of thinking about our users. Because it doesn't only give you the way of controlling computer and way of sending signals to users. It gives you much more. As you can see, we can work simultaneously on many devices. It can be, those devices may be used at the same time in a collaborative way. Like, for example, having Cyberpunk game on your phone and at the same time have it on your Xbox. And we can adapt easily any kind of devices that can connect each other and say, hey, I'm a joystick and I'm used for this one. So bring me this interface to use this one and I will help you to do this thing. Our system should be easy adaptable. Our system should work multi-sessions. And what's more, the analysis should be really based on human behavior and really personalized towards him. Because, and this is the right side of the medal that I want to give you, we have much wider contexts to get in touch with our clients. Normally, when you talk about user experience, what do you say? I say, yeah, I have a persona, so we have a persona, there is a customer journey map. On the customer journey map, there are scenarios, yeah, user scenarios that we use, when we say that, yeah, a person who needs to order a pizza, then he wants to say like, yeah, I don't know which pizza to take, so it's important to have like, good taste and have be like Napolitana, Italian pizza, whatever, and he performs some activities on your app, yeah? So basically this is the user scenario. But each time we talk about scenario, we are pushing user to initiate the scenario. Less and less we have like push messages that we send spam to a user or some notification about delivery change or whatever. But imagine like having a system that performs actions for the user. And when he logs in, he says, hey, I did it. Or the system that remembers user activities. And if I'm buying bread every Monday morning, then next Monday morning when I go to the shop, it should tell me, hey, maybe you should buy this bread because you do it every Monday morning. Or as well, it can give me additional signals, like for example, it can measure my temperature. It can feel that I'm stressed right now. It can push me towards some activities or push me out of some activities. We have so much wider contexts for our user scenarios and for designing our interfaces, how they are responsive, how they are adapting to the user life. That basically thinking only about Figma and closing our minds only to those, small visual interfaces is really narrowing down your minds. And what I'm really pushing you to is, we need to redefine what is the interface we design and how it will adapt to the future world. And for me, right now, I think it's the best time to invest in R&D, even in terms of all the kind of, EU programs, etc. R&D only for the user interface. You can invest in it. You can as well take money into this one. Because right now, adapting various technology in order to bring better user experience and better user interface is something that can be really, you can even get money for this one out of the UE donation. So basically, and this is so cool. And just we don't do it because we are focused, bringing new functionalities, going with the lean management, going with the MVP. We don't have time to look back and see, okay, maybe our interface should be redesigned and rethought. Maybe our products should be kind of rediscovered, even for ourselves. And in my opinion, the future, yeah, I should add in my opinion because it sounds like so declarative, like it's like Google announcing it. But no, it's not Google announcing it, it's me just announcing. So what I think is the future of software engineering is based on two things. One is multi-device systems that can be used on various devices, like touch screens, like even bus stops or whatever else. And each time they're contextually smart, implemented. And the second thing is APIs. And APIs is a language protocol between any apps that can provide any kind of data between each other. And those two things, I think they will rule in terms of kind of software development and our approach, our goals in future. Even in terms of API, like medical data, this is kind of one of the biggest kind of challenges of today's world. So this led me to my third and last imperative. And what kind of world we want to build. Because basically, when I'm thinking about the technology, I've been here like for 15 years in designing those products. And more I think that, are we doing a good job? Are we kind of taking good perspectives on our design? Because the more we simplify, the more we help people become foolish. And, people are lazy in terms of what we are and how we perform, how we act, how we live. And we are always trying to take shortcuts, despite of the fact if they are harmless or not. And basically, this is the Inuit tribe that we used to live like in Greenland. It's a really kind of tough place to live. And they lived there and they were hunting for like weeks. And they were known of the fact that they were never lost. they had a really managed to kind of make their own localization kind of perspective and understanding that they were never lost. Nobody died, even despite of the bad winter, even despite of the forests and difficult territory. They never died until white men brought compass. So basically, they started using compass to navigate, and they quickly dislearned what they learned with ages, with the generations. You know, I work a lot with the medical softwares, and there are those AI models and machine learning models that are showing the heat maps of radiology pictures. So basically, when we have the radiology pictures, there are systems that are kind of mapping the changes for doctors to take a close look. And basically, this is cool because it helps doctors. You know, this is a way of automation. But the thing is, in real life, it appeared that after a certain number of tests, it appeared that, okay, less experienced doctors, their expertise increased. And this was good. But more experienced doctors, their expertise decreased because they stopped paying attention to their own feelings. They started just looking at the colorful pictures of the heat maps. And they stopped paying attention on other things, on other aspects. And they quickly dislearned those activities. And this also became a problem. So the designers said, okay, if we have a problem, let's do it this way. That first, the doctor will look at the picture and make his own diagnosis, and then let's show him a heat map, like a second confirmation. But then the company said, okay, but what kind of, how can it help me? Because normally doctor spends X time on this one, and now he will spend X time plus Y time because of the fact that it will give him additional expertise. So he will not be more effective. And this is the problem we are kind of approaching. So either way, we need to know that automation is eroding rich talents. It's like guitars. You can be like Hetfield or Kirk Hammett on your guitar when you practice for 10,000 hours, I think it was, with this sentence. Yeah? So you can make any kind of solo when you practice 10,000 hours. So, but would Kirk Hammett, with all his genius, would he invent like Nothing Else Matters or Master of Puppets without spending this time on learning the guitar? Without making these connections, direct connections between fingers and brain, like synaptic connections, because this is what is happening with the rich talents. We are kind of developing additional, we are changing our brain, the shape of our brain, because we are continuously doing some things. And this is how we make inventions. But when we stop stimulating our brain in doing this, we will not be able to make any inventions. We'll be just, the human role is just watchdog. And we are looking for anomalies. There was a study done, prepared. There were two groups of people in ethnographic research that stood before they were challenged to make some complex activity, which was organizing a conference, just like this. So they had like people, participants, they had prelectors, and they had some classes. They needed to put this all together. And one group, they had no help. They just needed to make their own framework for this, etc. The second group got software for this one, the whole software that helps organize it. And yes, the second group made it much faster. The first group could really better understand what they were doing, but they took much more time. But they repeated the same challenge in 1 year time. The same groups, the same challenge, again the same types of things. So the software group took the same time. They didn't bring any value. The non-software group took it twice faster already, the second time after a year. It took them twice faster, plus they had some cool ideas that they could manage. This is what happens when you stimulate your brain. This is what happens when you repeat. This is when you have critical thinking, when you are thinking, okay, I need to do it faster. Yeah, I know how to do it. This is something that AI is eroding. And we have more problems in terms of humanity problems, in terms of what have we done as designers to this world. It's just like multitasking, generation effect, and something that most of the kids are victims of is like relationships and emotions in terms of social media, And basically with adapting AI, we are kind of keep following this one, keep continuing this approach. And is it right approach towards humanity? towards our kids and next generations that we are taking? Are we taking as well good perspectives? Because, for example, our paradigm that is kind of with the years, everyone knows this book, Don't Make Me Think, maybe it should be changed. Let's start making people think. Let's learn them. Let's teach them how to think, how to scope with their brains, and how to do it. I will show you some examples of this one in a moment. But I will show you as well one more mistake and problem of AI and automation. I told you a moment ago about insights, about how we gather insights and how we can empower our insights by AI. Yeah, and this is clueless. Why is that? We are kind of data-driven. Even today when we talked, we were saying that we are data-driven. But do we want to base the future on the data from the past? And this is my first question. Let's give you one example. I was doing some automotive portal, and basically I started analyzing the personas, doing some ethnography at the, where they were selling those cars, etc. And they really gave me patterns, like, yeah, he's a kind of motor maniac, and she's like typical blondie, so she wants a small car with automatic gearbox, etc. And he's like petrol head, so he's crazy, every green light, he's like starting. I'm saying, like, wow, it's so harmful for those guys. Why can't I be as a person, why can't I be the one that wants to have a small tiny car with automatic gearbox? And why cannot my girlfriend be the one that is taking the race driving and loves it, is being a petrol head? So as you can see, what we are doing is by building personas, we are stereotyping, because we are saying, okay, this is the main attribute of this person. And then what comes together with these attributes? So if you are a petrol head, you are like James Dean. Then you are kind of like crazy maniac, and basically you don't want to meet him on the road. And this is kind of archetype we take. And this is the archetype we push together. Then we show the advertisement with Hołowczyk, which is one of the Polish rally drivers, who is like getting with a drift to the shop, and he's getting in and sits down and says, yeah, I want a new phone, you see? And every petrol head seeing this as he said, yeah, I need to be like him. I like cars, but I'm not like this kind of, man's guy. I'm more feminine, but I need to be man. I cannot be like this. And this is where you have some problems with your own mind, because they are pushing you, bringing you pressure to be more the person you are not. And this is how we are getting to the stereotypes. And this is something I gave also here. This is a quote which was, I translated it. So the current data-driven process and model, which does not take into account the target social value of the solutions being created, will not build the better world. Will just replicate existing cliches. And and patterns. It's like we are talking about homosexuals. Still, when you see an ad with the two guys hugging each other, it's something strange. So everybody talks about it. It becomes viral. And yeah, it's cool because everybody is saying about brand. No, nobody should talk about it. It should be totally normal and practical. I'm being a gay and being a petrol head should be nothing bad, nothing wrong with this one. So this whole holistic perspective on personas is already harmful. Then we go next, because how it works in practical. As you can see, let's start from the left. The company builds funnels. We are kind of inbound marketing, sales funnels, and basically as well as merging with the customer journey map with this kind of behavioral phases like, consideration, awareness, decision, sales. Yeah, and we have those funnels. They automate their processes. So they put some assumptions, quantitative assumptions. Then what they do, they prepare some journeys. So basically they put some marketing campaigns, they put some blog posts, they do some partnership campaigns, etc., etc. The content is being selected, sometimes written automatically about what we are talking about our user, what he is and how he acts. And then the person takes this context and takes the full image of this one. So I'm a crazy petrol head. Sorry, I cannot do nothing wrong. If I'm a petrol head, I should drive my car in here and with a drift and show, yeah, I'm this kind of crazy, with a loud engine and, you need to love me and admire me for that. No, I don't give a shit. So basically, but this is how people are acting and this is how our psychology works. So basically, the whole marketing is nothing more than stereotyping. This is kind of the vision of person we want to get. This is the tangibility that all the marketers are saying. We need to build tangibility, the vision of him being a better person by using our product. Bullshit, yeah, because this is something that we are putting the stereotype. So we're kicking the person into the stereotype and we say, use this product because you are this kind of guy. And it's not about the marketing itself only. It's also a problem of humans. It's like Invisible Women. There is a book by Caroline Criado Perez, and my friend was giving as well some prelection about it, how women are misled in today's world. Like, you don't know what, like, for example, 75% of women who are wearing like protecting clothes, they are not adjusted for women. They're not kind of made by purpose. 75% of protection clothes for women. And for example, even life-saving jackets for women are the same as kids' life-saving jackets. It's nothing more. So, and you know what we do? This is how our world looks like, and this is something that ChatGPT was fed with. So basically, we are feeding our system with this data. So if you are asking our system for any solutions, recommendations, it will use this data, this mislead data. And it's true because it is data-driven. Because when you are taking into consideration, it's like, okay, when you beat someone up, he is beaten up. Yeah, he is. And it's like we are making like strange assumptions. Yeah, we created a world like this, made people live like this, and we are expecting them, hey, they are living like this. It's okay. We should rethink the models and and encourage ourselves to think of the data not only, this is our major things, kind of major point of decision. Data should feed us, but should not drive the decisions. The decisions should be based on what we want to approach, what kind of values we want to provide, what kind of shift we want to take. Not what kind of world we have met and where we are kind of living in. We cannot rely on current reality, especially with the shift that we are right now. And I will show you some examples of those apps. Like, for example, there is a Doctor One app. It's basically a messenger between the doctor and the patient. But what they did, they said that we want to create a better world because we know that the most holistic medical care is the care where the doctor is close to the patients. They have a relationship. Doctor knows about the patient. He's next to him all the time. And right now what we have is like, okay, if you want a doctor, you go to the consultancy, you have a visit, you use the doc planner, and basically you book a visit, and that's it. 85% of doctors never know if they succeeded with the diagnosis they provided to the patient, because patient goes out and he's never back. So he doesn't know if he survived or he's dead, most of the doctors. And what they said that we want to change it, we want to make a shift. And they made an app for doctors to be able to talk with their patients and be in a constant cooperation. And you know what, doctors said that, and this where our help was as well needed, because doctors said, I don't want to have it. Because, people keep texting me. I hate it. So what we said, okay, let's make it like medical treatment, like once a day. The doctor will have at 5 o'clock, whenever he decides, one time for all the patients. And anytime patient will ask him a question, he will have an information. Yes, your doctor will answer today at 5 o'clock. And this way the patients were happy because they knew when to expect the doctor's answer. The doctors were happy because they didn't have to push it all the time on the messages. They had one time slot that they were doing it, and we made it put it into life. Another thing is all those devices for VR can help us treat with depression, with anxiety. VR can be used for training, for Industry 4.0. There are so many ways to use it. But again, we cannot base it on our current paradigms. We need to change and we need to shift in the terms of what devices you use, how a system works with those devices. And the examples I like the most, because these are examples that are kind of building better societies, like Duolingo app. Because most of the time that we are standing in a queue or anywhere else, we use the Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, which are distractors. And they do not anyhow evolve in our development. This is just a waste of time. This is just a distractor, nothing else. So what Duolingo did, they switched those micro moments using very smart gamification models, the smart activity models. They have shifted it and made people learn something new. The same with all kind of podcasts, that you can listen on your car. Even those kind of small things, they help us become better persons. Because most of us don't read books. This is the statistics that is kind of being fatalistic every year. Wow, more and more people don't read books. At least they listen to the podcast. It's still better than nothing, But this is my favorite example, is HubSpot. And I really love what they do in terms of one thing, because HubSpot switched the mindset of marketers. I remember using all the systems for newsletters like Freshmail, GetResponse, even in those early ages, Sarah. And I remember how it used to work, that basically you put in the database of the customers, you use some filters, you try to delete some doubles, then you put some mailings, you create the whole HTML, you test it on various devices. So what they did, they automated this job by creating one system that you can work seamlessly with the blog, with the email, with everything. So they automated a part of the job that marketers were doing. But what they said, but we'll give you something instead. We'll teach you something new. And this is where the HubSpot Academy came up. This is where this whole mind shift of marketers, or this is where the whole inbound was created. Because those guys, they were not filtering emails anymore, or addresses, but they were not sitting on Facebook instead of that, or wasting their time. They started learning something new. They made a shift. So they were studying what is the persona, what is the sales funnel, what is the customer journey map. This is what marketers should be taught. And this is something that they started doing. In terms of this kind of comparison, I would say that HubSpot gave more to the world than Google Analytics. Because Google Analytics is one of the most used softwares in the world, but everybody uses it as its own way. But HubSpot gave some kind of reward system. It gave people understanding what is our role, how to use this software. They gave some road for the people on what they should expect. Analytics system just gives you analytics, and right now, even me working with companies, I know that 80% of the companies, they don't use analytics properly to measure the UX. They use it for the conversion tracking, they use it for some Power BI as well models, or they adapt certain analytics, but 80% of companies don't do it properly. And with the approach like HubSpot does, they would know how to test it and what's the right approach to creating cognitive assumptions, like cognitive workflow assumptions, then merging it with the analytics, with some data crosses, and then giving some insights to the customers of how it works and how it competes. So basically, we need to redefine the third thing, and my last thing, we need to redefine the importance of the data and how they drive our decisions. Because this is another shift that will become one of the major threats. Because what kind of world we want to live? Do we want to kind of build the world that we would like to live on and our kids would like to live on? I think this is an important question for us all at the moment. So yeah, let's go to the summary, which is like having those only three today, sorry for that, having kind of shifts, and my main kind of design paradigms is one is adapt or die. So we always need to think about the tools that we are using and continuously think of how they can improve processes, because they can do it in many various ways. Just try to imagine it and treat it as a brush, not as something that will kill your ass or whatever. Second thing is design imperatives. We shouldn't focus on design as a visual representation of Figma, etc. We should more focus on system design, on how we can approach customers better, how we can provide them more relevant data and more value with the tools we have right now. Because we have new tools, we have new devices, and it's just up to us to start using them. And the second thing is design value. What's the value and outcomes of our design? How we want to create the world as a better place or not. How we want to implement the future for our kids. And I think that those three things, paradigms, is something that should be kind of in our head in the next few years. And basically, yeah, hope you will all get some insights from your side. Thank you so much for this one.
So now we have a couple of minutes for Q&A. don't go from stage. So you can raise your hand or write on Q&A chat in WaysConf 2024 app to ask Igor a question. Do we have any first? Yeah, we got one.
Hi, first of all, thanks for the presentation. I would like to ask you, what's your take on filling every single second, every empty moment that you mentioned with Duolingo, podcasts, mobile gaming, microlearning, whatsoever? Because I can see the trend in statements that these two influences our attention span, etc. You mentioned that that's a negative thing, so it's kind of conflicting.
Yeah, I think it's still worse than playing football on the backyard. But I think it's better than using TikTok. And I think that, as making in a position is still a better way because it somehow develops yourself and helps you to become a better person. The language skills are not only for the language skills that we are developing. Yeah, I think this response, because I also agree that, these are kind of nonsense moments. They are still the nonsense moments.
So we still have time for only one question, if anybody wants to ask. If not, I got one. I'm waiting, okay. No hands raised. So I wanted to ask, how do you find ways to stimulate your brain when you're not using automation?
I think it's practice. And a lot of people are asking me the key to the creativity that we are having. How to get great ideas out of the insights you get is just practicing, is nothing more. Is like I haven't been that creative 10 years ago as I am right now by continuously creating kind of few types of methodologies in my head to stimulate it to become more creative. And this is a question I'm being asked quite often because it's quite a complex thing, because at the end, I think this is a very important question for you as well, for us all, because we need to think, because we are designers, yes? And this is kind of design. What is the design? Is design a holistic product vision, or is it just wireframes, or is it the layer of communication of the strategy on persona approach? So basically, what is the design of our work? Me as an architect, I love saying that design is architecture information, but it's also interaction model, the way people interact with the system. And for this, looking for all the kind of creative ideas, this is something that we should always stimulate ourselves and never kind of say, okay, we are kind of reached it and we don't have nothing more to unveil and discover. So basically this is important, to keep practicing the creativity, but there are certain ways to do it. We can do it by thinking about some analogies. Even with the environment you have, you can try to find analogies. You can try to mix models about things. You can try to kind of use the opposition, kind of devil's advocacy in terms of kind of conquering. You can use some projection model, projection methods, like for example making the kind of the press release of your business in 2 years, like for example. So all of those things, they stimulate your creativity, but when you are doing this repeatedly, then you are becoming better and better in this one. And this is cool because it's like playing guitar, You can say that, oh, I never could keep the tempo, and after a year you're saying, yeah, I'm playing quite cool blues.
That's a very interesting insight, and let's thank Igor for sharing his knowledge and exciting speech.